Dreams coming true is really an awesome feeling for a driver, especially in NASCAR. And the driver who's living the same feeling recently is the 2021 NASCAR Cup Series champion. So NASCARians, don't go anywhere, as we have more to discuss on Kyle Larson to race the Indianapolis 500 today. But before we begin, please subscribe to our channel and hit the like button. Kyle Larson's ambitious plan to run the Indy 500 and a NASCAR race on the same day was called a dream come true. Kyle Larson is the 2021 winner of the NASCAR Cup Series, so you can bet that he will do whatever it takes to make sure that his goals come true. Larson made the announcement that he will compete in the legendary Indianapolis 500 in Indianapolis, Indiana, during the 2024 IndyCar season. Competing in the event has been a dream of Larson's since he was a child. Larson will race for McLaren Racing in a car that is fielded by its Aero McLaren squad and is co-owned by Larson's employer, Rick Hendrick. Despite the fact that he will be sponsored by HendrickCars.com, Larson is excited about the opportunity. Larson stated her excitement in a news release, saying, "I'm extremely excited. Competing in the Indianapolis 500 is a dream of mine and something I've wanted to do for a very long time. Ever since I was a child, long before I ever began competing in sprint cars. This is something I've wanted to achieve for a very long time. It's like a dream come true to be able to do it with Aero McLaren and Mr. Hendrick in particular." The legendary race is a thrilling test for any genuine wheelman, requiring ambitious drivers to grind out a grueling 1,100 miles of asphalt. However, if everything goes according to plan, Part 2 of Larson's Monster Day behind the wheel will see him also trade paint during a 600-mile NASCAR Cup Series event in Charlotte, just a few hours after the conclusion of the legendary race. In general, winning both of the races that take place on the same day is an extremely difficult accomplishment to achieve.
I guess the first time I mentioned the 500 to Rick was at the end of 2021, and it seemed like it had some momentum for the first couple months, and it kind of things got quiet, and I had to bring it back up to Jeff quite a bit to just keep the ball rolling. And then really this deal came together, I feel like, fairly quickly, only a few months of them kind of ironing out the details. And glad to get to do it. It's a race that I've dreamt of doing since I was a child, and I'm happy that I get to wait more than a year or two, because now I can really focus on the preparation that it'll take to go out there and be prepared to hopefully make a good challenge at a win.
Larson said on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio,
"Yeah, definitely. If we were to put it together to run Evergrande this year, I still feel like I would have been rushed to be prepared for May and feel like I can go and compete at a high level. So yes, it's a long ways away from the event, but I feel like I like that a lot better, because now I can have all this time to focus on doing the right things to train and get better, not only physically but just behind the wheel, time in the simulator, time behind the actual wheel of an Indy car, and hopefully getting to do some testing before Indianapolis next year. So yeah, just I'm glad that it's going to be next year's Indy 500 and not this year's.
Larson hasn't raced in an IndyCar race yet, but he is very connected to the Indianapolis 500 and the city of Indianapolis. He knew that the late Robin Miller fought hard for him to be included in the field of 33, but he also had his own connections with Indy because of how well he did on a dirt track. He was in the running for the job. Larson will be able to use the brand new Chevrolet Technology Center, which is on the property of Hendrick. Even though it is still too early in the process for anyone to know exactly how he will prepare for this year's race, simulator time will be a part of it. Another factor will be training for the stress on the body from competing in two races on the same day and getting used to driving two very different types of vehicles. Will Larson be able to win the Indy 500 race? What do you think? Tell us in the comments section below. Also, make sure to subscribe to our channel to get more NASCAR news. Hendrick, who is also a co-owner of the team, has traditionally been hesitant to let his drivers compete in IndyCar races because of the risk of needless injury. However, the well-known owner noted that Larson's desire to compete and his dogged determination in his pursuit were just too compelling to ignore. According to Fox Sports, Hendrick was quoted as saying, "It's just one of those transactions that Kyle has been adamant about. And now he's managed to get me into letting him race sprint cars." The McLaren brand of automobiles competes in numerous electric vehicle series, in addition to IndyCar and Formula One competition with their vehicles. Zach Brown, CEO of McLaren, has been a longtime supporter of NASCAR from a marketing perspective. This support stems from his intimate links to the league, and it makes him nearly as excited as Larson. Brown said that Larson is a complete driver, known for racing anything on wheels, so I'm looking forward to seeing what Kyle can do in an NTT IndyCar Series car. It's been amazing working with Rick Hendrick and Hendrick executive Jeff Gordon to pull this together. So a huge thank you to them for what's to come May 2024. The fact that both teams drive Chevrolets served as the deciding factor in Larson's favor when it came to winning Hendrick's approval. According to Hendrick, it was essential to provide Kyle with high-caliber gear and give him a sufficient amount of lead-up time to enable him to adequately prepare for such a challenging test. As a car owner, having a Chevrolet compete in the Indy 500 will undoubtedly be a once-in-a-lifetime experience for him. He went on to say that a partnership like this was what we needed to make it happen, and fortunately the stars aligned in order for it to take place. We are 100% committed to getting it done the proper way, and we are excited to work with Zach and his company. According to Larson, he has never driven an IndyCar before, so he doesn't know what to expect in terms of the physicality of the race. On the other hand, he has been told that they are very physical. Since they don't have power steering, he thinks that means it will be much harder to turn the wheel. Given how much faster they are, he thinks it makes sense that we would feel G-forces that he is not used to. But he still thinks that he will do everything in his power to be as ready as possible. As the end of the year approaches, he is sure that Josh Wise will come up with a plan for him to follow to get himself physically ready for it. Because it is so far away, there is a lot of time to make sure that everything is as close to perfect as possible. It seems that time is really Kyle Larson's best friend, as his dream comes true to run the Indianapolis 500 in May 2024. Larson is one of the most adaptable drivers who currently compete in the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series. If he is able to cross the finish line in both races, he will make history by being the first driver in Hendrick's history to win the double. What do you think? Will Larson be the first driver to win a double in history? Tell us in the comments below. Hope you enjoyed today's video. So subscribe to our channel, hit the like button, and press the bell icon to see more of our videos on NASCAR updates.